Hello, I'm John Sablon. You may remember me from television news. I'm now on the board of West Hartford Community Television, WHC-TV. I'm talking to you from the public library because the two organizations have a lot in common. For instance, here at the library, you can reach out and touch just about any part of the world, free of charge. On the other hand, through WHC-TV, you have access to everything in and about West Hartford, right from your own home, and once again, free of charge. Now, I have to be very honest with you. WHC-TV is a non-profit organization, and as such, we need your help to keep doing an ever-improving job of servicing you. Now, you can become a member for just $35 and help us an awful lot. You can help us all go a long way. Just think of it this way. You're investing in yourself. Thanks.
One, two. We can hear each other now, yes. One, two, one, two. One, two, one, two. One, two. You come here. We can hear each other, but we hear all the crowd noise now. One, two, one, two. There's an open mic over there at the table. Can't do it. One, two, check one, two. Check one, two.
And guard, senior captain number 2, Delaney Conard. Senior guard number 11, Julian Kennedy. At guard, senior captain number 14, Abby Capone. And forward, senior number 15, Abby Moore. performed by Conard's solo choir.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Conard High School, where tonight we got the Hall Warriors going against the Conard Chieftains. Absolutely thrilled to be here with my good friend Jamie Tchaikovsky. Jamie, excited for the game tonight as well?
Every time Hall and Conard get together, no matter the sport, we get chills on our chills on our body, and everyone gets fired up. And it's a little awkward at first for the players and the fans. What's your experience been in this kind of matchup?
Yeah, and I think because it's the crosstown rival, and I know folks are tuning in from lots of different places, but if you know West Hartford, these kids come up growing, playing sports together, and all of a sudden they're put into this situation where, as opposed to being longtime teammates going on trips together, now they're sort of enemies for a night. But they're, and you and I both know the families so well. It'd be nice to lessen the temperature on that whole rivalry thing a little bit. Let the kids have some fun out there.
No doubt about it. Well, it's about competing, and that's why we play sports, to compete and to win, but building camaraderie and building maturity as teammates. The beautiful thing is both these teams are coming in rolling. 4-game winning streak for Hall, a 3-game winning streak for Conard. A great matchup. What do you see the key to the game today?
Yeah, it's gonna. You can't say it's inexperienced versus experience.
You need to keep your headphone on.
Teams have a lot of experience. Conard,
okay, are they good?
5 seniors. And,
all right, do you see the meters bouncing on the live view too?
5 kids have got lots of minutes.
All right, Jen's saying something cut out, but just keep going.
Remember, 3 of the girls going off to play college basketball, and 2 starters from last year. It's a good start for Hall. Weak side pass to Zdanowicz, who got her first 2 of the night.
Very nice ball movement by Hall right now. Let's see if Conard can have a response, settle it down a little bit, get the nerves out of them, and see if they can get a good shot off here.
Looks like Hall's in a matchup man-to-man. They're sloughing off a little bit, looking to switch on screens. Conard's going to be patient against this. They're in no hurry, obviously. Again, a very mature, experienced Conard team. But Hall is very patient on defense.
Definitely. And now Lena goes up for a shot, gets fouled. I'm not sure if it's a foul.
Yeah. Nope, already they just called it out of bounds. Looked like there was some contact, but still Conard possession underneath. Hall is going, looks like a 2-3 zone underneath, as a lot of teams will do.
Yeah.
See if they stay in the zone. It appears that they're going to stay in the zone, and Conard's recalling a new offense now.
Yeah, we'll see a different offense here. They first started with a 5 and out against that man-to-man. Now they're going to run a little bit, still 5 and out against a 23, which is odd to see.
Yeah. So folks from other states might be wondering where the shot clock is. There is no shot clock in the CIAC men's, boys or girls basketball. So on the kickball there's no reset of the shot clock. It just stays possession to Conard.
I would still say an average of about 20 seconds to get a shot off in general. So with or without the clock, they're going to get shots up here. Capone from the corner for a 3-point. Moncton is a 2. So Abby does play the 5, but she can go out and she can hit that outside jumper. Pressed by Conard.
So sometimes the press doesn't always get you a steal, but if it forces a quick shot, then there's trouble. There's Conard with some effort. Looks like the coaches are allowing them to play, or refs are allowing them to play right now. It's a couple of times where Conard's going in pretty hard. There's a lot of contact there, but I think Delaney initiated the contact and the referees let it go. Two on the line. Both teams pretty well with. That's Haverty from the corner with their toe on the line for a two-pointer.
Yes. Conard is their leading scorer out there and definitely one of the leaders, main captains that they have there. And she's aggressive both outside and inside, so it'll be fun to watch that matchup with who's ever on Delaney.
What can happen in the beginning of these games, both teams are very hyped. Again, experience is usually going to take hold. You can see Conard is playing with a little more poise right now, a little more confidence. Paul's got to get the jitters out, especially being on the road.
He's got an excellent crowd here with parents and grandparents, but also other spectators. Really watching two very good teams. Also rebound by Abby Capone. Out of bounds, going Conard's way.
It's yet another one where we saw a little bit of contact, but again, there haven't been any fouls called. It looks like the referees are going to let them play. And in a game like this, we'd much prefer to see that, of course.
Got a fast break here with Amber Reisner, and we're all tied up at four.
All fans often catch their breath when Amber goes in for a layup. She's only about a month back from a 6-month recovery of an ACL injury in her AAU season during the year.
Out of bounds again, not a foul there, lots of contact, so letting them play, staying consistent with the calls.
They are, and it is one of those things where Conard is going to need to keep her aggression, but understand that the pull-up might be the better play there because they're clearly not calling it, but in all honesty, it could have gone either way 3 times already.
Abby is a natural lefty, so that's a natural little hook shot for her there.
Zagano, which does a great job of pushing the ball.
Nice three-point shot there. So it looks like they're going to a little bit of a straight-up man.
Good box out by Gellerman there. Again, look to set their normal offense now. Again, with no shot clock, you can look for that secondary fast break. If it's not there, you just go in and run your sets.
It's interesting the size of this team, both of these teams, Steve, that they don't really have that true 5, that true tall center. So you have relatively equally sized players out there playing a pretty spread out type of game on both sides.
Yeah, you will. You're going to find both teams with lots of movement, lots of motion. Conard's staying aggressive going to the hoop, but we still have no fouls on the board, and we're nearly 5 minutes into the game.
Crowd's into it. McEnroe with a nice steal and breakaway, and here's a long one here.
Again, the one thing you'll see about Zaganowicz is she's always got her head up. Right there, Conard fell asleep a little bit on Venora's steal. They were celebrating, and Zaganowicz took advantage of it. Amber had never gotten back and was the recipient of an opportunity for that three-point play.
Yeah, so something you've been preaching for 30 years as being a basketball coach to all of these guards is get your head up, see the floor. Same thing in lacrosse. See the field, see your options.
Yeah, you'll see that Zaganowicz has a motor unlike any other. As folks might know, she actually was a state champion cross-country runner in her first season ever doing the sport this year.
Highly impressive athlete. There's a lot of highly impressive multi-sport athletes out here, including a Division I rower with Abby Capone, Division I lacrosse player with Jillian Haverty with the ball right now. These kids are impressive athletes and impressive young ladies.
Conard's first deep shot of the night, bangs off the rim. Reisner with the rebound. Oh. We had a player go down inadvertently.
So Zandanowicz's foul. She's going to be going to the line for 2. Boney was recipient of a collision.
Yeah, a little trip down here that was probably off camera. But it looks like everybody's okay. I think she just got tangled up with Venora heading back. Referee was right there, said play on, and amidst that action, Zaganowicz got herself a nice little opportunity to get to the foul line.
It's a good break for both teams right now to catch their breath, get their their adrenaline down a little bit. Olivia Delorier in the game right now. Solid fundamental player.
That's our first sub of the night. We got Delorier sophomore coming in for senior Lexi Gellerman. Delorier is a three-point specialist who does a lot of other little things for the team.
That one just rolled out, but now they did finally call a contact foul down in the paint down here for Conard. Maggie Venora going the line for 2. A lot of hands on the hips right now. We're only 5 minutes into it.
Yeah, well, again, we've only had the one sub for Hall, and neither team goes too deep. Hall will go typically just about 7, maybe 8 in the first half in terms of the rotation. So kids play and get a lot of minutes. But these are, like you said, this point of the season, this is a short day for them because these kids are practicing 2.5 hours a day.
Exactly.
Yeah, fundamentally they do a lot of nice things. It's a great backdoor cut right there. Took advantage of the overplay defensively.
Yeah, I'll be interested how fast Mike D'Angelo from Conard brings in a sub. He's got a dynamic freshman, Isaiah Felder, and she is terrific and fun to watch. So let's see how fast before she gets into the game here. I think she may be ready to sub in right now.
Yeah. Well, that'll be, because she seems to be a tempo changer, and well, the reports on her, she likes to push it. Very good athlete, and you know, it's hard to believe that at this point, you know, we're watching this game, and Hall's up 10. It's really just been a function of them, you know, making a couple of extra shots, but it doesn't feel like a 10-point game the way it's been played so far.
Yeah, no doubt about it. The aggressiveness by Conard in the paint hasn't been rewarded with fouls, so they're going to have to convert on those layups. We have several subs waiting to come in right now in the ball game. Next stop of action, we'll see some change of personnel. Beautiful pass and a foul. Delorier going the line for 2. A nice feed by Zindanowicz.
The thing I'm going to look for right now, Jamie, is body language on Conard. I've been impressed that they're not panicked, they're not rushing, but you want to see how they handle themselves in these situations where if Hall goes on these little runs, whether or not they're going to get down on themselves, or are they going to continue to stay patient and not force things. Again, with no shot clock, sometimes you think, all right, well, we're going to get up quick shots and try to get back in a hurry.
Sure thing,
that's when it can go in the other direction. So,
yeah, if they get caught looking at the scoreboard, they may get a little bit of panic, but they're not. It says Siobhan Boyle in the game for Hall, and it's and here she is.
She's in first place, puts her head down, attacks the hoop, extremely patient.
And wait till you see her on the defensive side. Yeah. Felder is no joke, and Megan Mohart in the game as well, a junior coming out there to replace Abby Capone.
Well, this is fun for us, of course, Jamie. We got 2 girls out there that you and I had a chance to coach for 4 years, going against each other. Obviously, one of them is my own daughter, and then the other one is our co-coach, Lorraine Moorhart's daughter, Megan, out there. So it's fun to see these kids that we got to know over the years for so long be out there having fun together.
Both of these kids come from parents that have D1 athletes, with you playing Division I basketball and Lorraine Mohart playing Division I basketball right here at University of Hartford. And now we're going to see Megan Mohart go to the line for 2.
It looks like there was a foul on the ground. Yeah, it was a nice drive by Mohart. Zindanowicz looked to help and had a reach in there. The one person that Paul really values having on the court is Zindanowicz because of her capacity to just run the point and push things in transition. There's a shot from Moorhart that just rimmed out. Looked like a good look on the release.
Yeah, Felder is a difference maker on the defensive side. Super quick feet, super quick hands. And she gets a foul on Amber Reisner right there, so Amber will be shooting 2.
Yeah, I think Reisner took advantage of the freshman right there, and that clearly it appears that the play is to be a pick and roll coming off the high screen. What Amber does a great job of is looking like she's going to use it and then attacking the rim very quickly. And Felder bid on it against the veteran player, and Amber Reisner is going to be playing at Union College next year.
Yeah, senior leadership and experience came in there and just sometimes takes that inexperienced, incredible athlete and shows them how to play ball from time to time.
Yeah. Congratulations to Amber Reisner, who scored her 1,000th point in their last game. So it's always a nice milestone for anybody, but for her to have done it midway through her senior year, coming off that injury was good to see. So congratulations to her. We know that Delaney Connors is not that far off herself from Conard, so good luck to Delaney on going for that milestone as well.
And Amber's heating up right now. Now she's getting a rest right now, but having a confident scorer like her, ready to go, here comes Felton right back on it, is a beautiful thing to have.
Well, we got a buzzer half court. So lots to talk about there, Jamie. 19-10 at the quarter. Obviously, if each quarter repeats, it appears to be a blowout. But we know basketball well enough to know it's not a game that works like that.
The tide turns so quickly, especially in high school ball, especially in this rivalry. I do feel that more composure on the Hall side right now, a little bit more crisp on the passing, and really nice finishes. So I think they've earned this lead right now. But look out, second quarter is always something different.
Yeah, absolutely. I think part of what happened was Conard went off to that very smooth early lead, and it almost lit a little bit of a fire under Hall, and they responded very well. And the thing that I would say is that there were more kids involved on the Hall side in that scoring. If you look at it right now, it appears that Hall has five scores already, and that's only the folks we can see on the board, so it might actually be 6 scores. So their balance is really helping them. Now that said, Conard's got four scorers at this point as well, and we got a parent pointing out something to the referee here. I'll be curious to see what it is. It might have something to do with the fouls or the timeouts. It's hard to tell. We got the score shown as 19-10. It appears that we're okay. So because of the alternating possession, Conard's going to get the ball coming back in this direction to start this second quarter. I think, again, Conard's just got to keep doing what was successful. Looked like the one-on-one isolation things, getting Felder with the ball, attacking the rim. She got 4 quick points doing that.
Let's see if they can get a rhythm out of one of their players, one of their key players, one of their starters. See if they can get a rhythm. Felder, nice punch off the bench for 4 points quickly. And here's Delaney going to the rack, and they go to the tried and true, and see if she can get her 2 off of this.
Yeah, right there, Hall started out in the zone, and Siobhan bailed Delaney out at that point with the reach, and had the two of them stayed up straight. I think she's probably heading in the other direction.
So I'll be interested to see the way that it's being called in the second quarter here. The adrenaline is down a little bit, and it'll become a little bit more of a cerebral game right now in the next few minutes.
Sometimes that's all Delaney needs, right? Is you see that first one go in through the foul line. She's been struggling a little bit from the field. We'll see if that foul shot helps her confidence and gets her rhythm a little bit going the rest of the way here.
It's beautiful to be able to get that first, either a layup or a free throw shot to get yourself focused and aligned with the rim, get your depth perception ready to go. Now you could see things open up for her as she gets some freedom here. Yeah,
so we had a turnover by Hall there down the other end. Double dribble was called. Hall staying in that zone right now, which go ahead.
Interesting to watch Mike and see how he's going to penetrate. He penetrates with the guards up high versus your 4 and 5 coming up to the high post. So there's 2 ways to attack that, right? Have your big kids come up, or have one of the guards come weak side. And with Delaney being as tall and long as she is, she's a good option there in the middle, just like that. Looking for the call, she's not going to get it. You just got to power up and finish. Olivia Deloy with a miss. Here comes Felder off the rebound. She can fly.
Yeah, she really can. She's a very good athlete. And, a couple misses by Conard there, but those both go down. It's a 4-point game. It looks like Zdanowicz got away with a carry there. Delorier with a deep 3, rims it out. See how patient Mohart, 3-point specialist. Mandyke with a great hustle for that rebound.
Very nice. Never give up on the ball, and she did not.
Made a good, smart play there.
Looks like Conard's in a straight man here, too. Let's see what kind of offense that coach runs after them.
A little soft block call there, so Hall staying patient on their offense. As you noticed, they're getting Amber Razor lots of rest. She's coming back into the game now. Boyle and Delorier out for Boney, and with Razor in. Those minutes are going to be precious for Razor at the end of the game, and she's still continuing to come back from that injury. She was doing a lot of games where she was only given 4 minutes a quarter, but one of the leading scorers in the conference last year. Hall's more valuable with her on the team for sure.
No doubt, those are really, really good rest minutes, both for Boney and for Reisner. A little bit off the mark right now for Hall. They got to get focused, maybe some closer shots. And here comes Felder once again going at it. He can slice it nice.
Yeah. So Gillerman's three, and then create long threes often create transition, as we've seen. So Felder's looking for this opportunity to push whenever she can. She's too young to realize what this game means, and a lot of times, she does not appear to be fearful or have any sort of those typical Hall Conard jitters going on.
Right.
So she's been fun to watch so far.
New player into the game for Conard, Ella DePippo, a sophomore, playing in the guard position. Has had reliable minutes all year long, and got minutes last year as a freshman as well. Good fundamentals and a solid player.
A little bit of a force by Reisner there, and she did hustle to get her own shot, but in all of the panic, we had another Hall turnover. So a little more sloppy on both sides than we saw in the first quarter.
Agreed. I think Hall has to tighten up the screws just a little bit here. They've had several turnovers, some long shots. Need to possess the ball next time they're down on offense. Let's see if this defense can hold the penetration.
Staying with the zone right now.
And one down the middle of the lane, so they're penetrating that 2-3 zone from a top wing position.
We're looking at a freshman guard right now, playing like a sophomore. Certainly, she's the real deal in terms of getting herself to the rim. And what I like is that she's not pulling up; she's going right at it. So all her hoops have been very aggressive going to the rim. She's got an opportunity right now. Put herself up at 9 points. So she's got almost 60% of the Conard points at this point, and she was not a starter.
It's a fun matchup watching Jenna and Felder go after each other because they both have like type of speed and athleticism. I will be interested later on in the game to see if Felder goes up against Reisner. And freshman against a senior. Here's DePippo for three.
So, like we talked about, it's going to be a game of runs. 19-10 doesn't mean anything. We're almost 4 minutes in, and we're tied at 19-19 at this point. Felder's being very aggressive on Zdanowicz right there. Forces a turnover. Finds Capone in the corner. Just rimmed off. Razor does a great job of leaking out in transition and drawing contact.
I mean, they're one more, they're in the bonus, so they're backing off a little bit on that fast break. They're not giving the heavy foul.
Connor's had a little smile after that one. I'm not sure she called bank on that pull-up, but again, in the same way that the foul shot will help, once the ball goes in the rim a little bit, you start to get your confidence, and you'll find as a shooter and a scorer, anytime the ball goes in the hoop, you're going to be happy with that.
And she just becomes more of a threat, right? I mean, so outside, inside, she can play both. If she proves the outside, they have to extend, then she does the blow-by.
Absolutely. So, the one thing I'm seeing from Hall right now is they're running their offense a little less deliberately than they were in the first half.
Charge on Boney on that one. There's a nice curl off the screen. A little nice layup going in there. I'm not sure who drew that, but they set their feet nicely and was there in position, ready for the charge.
They called the basket off because the release was after the charge happened. If the ball had left her hand, they would have counted the hoop and then done the charge. But that led to my whole point there. Hall is not running their offense quite as crisply as they were, and as a result, the defense was able to slide and be able to draw that charge right there.
No doubt, no doubt. Just to be a little sharper with ball fakes, a little sharper with shot fakes, and just get the pass on the hands. Kids are reaching and leading for them. It's keeping them out of position so they can't finish fast.
Yeah, so we got Connors on the line after, again, she's up to her 5th point at this point, but
The hard way.
Yeah, she's earning it in different ways.
Olivia Delorier in for Olivia Boney.
Yes, two Olivias as sophomores on the Hall team. So we have our first time out of the game. Coach Huggins has called a 30-second timeout. Probably just help the team recognize, like, look, this is going to be a game of runs. Right now, Conard is on an 11-2 run, which can sort of rattle a team and get them to a point of now them panicking. Coach Huggins will talk about that at this timeout. Let's just run our stuff. Let's be crisp. Let's remind ourselves of how we got that nice lead. And if we do turn the ball over, we miss a shot, let's just get back on defense and make a stop.
No doubt about it.
Big deal.
I think Coach D'Angelo on the Conard side is probably telling them, keep up the intensity, keep working hard, keep flashing off ball so we have options, and force it in the middle. Good things are happening when they get into the middle.
Well, this is fun, Jamie. We expected this to be a good game, and at this point, it's everything and that. You can see that the kids now are more comfortable. The jitters are gone, and now it's going to be a function of just executing and continuing to play hard.
I hope it's the same as the boys' Paul Conard game, because that was a thriller too. So we got a great game in front of us.
Again, a little slower run in the offense than we saw in the first quarter. A little more bounce, a little more dribbles than we were seeing. Starting to see some good crisp cuts. Delorier on the attack. Oh, excellent effort and good sportsmanship by Proetti there, helping up her crosstown mate, Delorier, after the push. I'd like to see that stuff, Jamie. We talk about this rivalry all the time, and certainly we've had some experiences in the past couple of years after football games and kids being silly. These kids are all friends, and the parents are friends. And it's nice to see Proetti as a senior go over and help the sophomore up after that push, and not get caught in some of the nonsense we see on ESPN and some of the collegiate things that are not modeled as well as we'd like to see it.
No doubt about it. I mean, that's really what sports are all about, teaching these life lessons of how to compete and how to go full blast and work hard for your teammates, not for yourself, and for your opponent. Respecting your opponent, respecting your refs, it's all part of it.
Great effort by DePippo right there. Coach Huggins is not happy with one of her seniors right now. I will not call her out because she lost her mark in transition, and but they've come to an agreement on who she should be covering moving forward.
Yeah, just a very, very soft pressure here, nothing major. Just keeping them honest, keeping Hall honest as they come up. Deep three for Hall. Olivia tracks it down. Going up Conard ball.
Razor's the sort of shooter that when she's feeling it, she feels open as soon as she crosses half-court line.
Felder out of the game for Conard. Jillian Haverty back into the game, a senior starter. Going to be playing Division I lacrosse at UConn next year.
That's
Jillian
terrific.
Haverty will be.
Basketball and lacrosse have such similarities to them that the transition, of course, will be great. We got Connors, who's going to play guard at the collegiate level, posting up, showing her skills, nice footwork there to work herself to the left hand.
I love her toughness. I love the fact that she can pull you deep and shoot it, she can drive, and then she can even post. And a nice little feed in the middle.
Yeah.
I see Hall picking apart the Conard defense. They have better spacing, their passing is on point, and it makes for nice transition buckets there.
Yeah, again, we're seeing Connors work that inside lane right there. They're going to try to get her post up on Delorier if they can. Problem sometimes that happens is they seem to have tunnel vision at this point, so you got to be careful about forcing it.
You really have a small lineup there. You got Capone on the bench, you got Mandak on the bench, you got Boney on the bench. It's all equal-sized players, so this is a wide-open ball game right now for both sides.
Yeah, that was to my point right there, Jamie, is that when you're running an offense just for one person, when Connors got it, she felt like, all right, I finally got it, I have to do something. And Hall was ready for it and collapsed pretty quickly on her.
Charge there on Olivia Delorier. Will the basket count? Because it did drop in there.
I do not think the basket will count. Again, the difficulty for the referees in these cases is they don't have, like they do on the collegiate level, how close she is underneath the basket. And I think that's what Coach Huggins is asking for. She came in right underneath her, Ball was released. Easy call sometimes for the referees. Go ahead, give the hoop. But Huggins is not happy. You're not going to find a referee who's going to reverse a call in those situations. It's a tough bang call, and at this point, Hall just has to move on and deal with it.
40 seconds left to go in this first half. It's been a great first half. Let's see how these teams end. On sharp notes or sloppy notes? Let's see what we have here.
Again, you're finding Conard's working hard to post up Delorier, who's doing a good job of fronting.
Got 3 seconds in there, so he's got to be careful of that. And a nice block. A good double team down in the paint. We're on transition with Zdanowicz with the ball.
Yeah, so this could be a momentum thing going in. Hall should hold for the last shot. We got 10 seconds. Amber's looking for clear out to
Overload
go
to the
on
left.
Haverty.
It's a clear out isolation.
No call right there. Connors has time to go all the way, and she does. And similarly to the other end, the referees are letting them play. I mean, both coaches are not happy with the no calls, but we're at 7 fouls for both teams at the half. We're going to go in with essentially a new game.
Yeah, I mean, they finished the game the way they started. Hard fought in the middle, looking for calls. They're not going to get the calls. They have to think about finishing at the rim or kicking it out and rerunning that offense. Like you said, there's no shot clock. You can use the time and have the patience to get things organized, get it to your hot hands.
Exactly. So, good half. We got both coaches talking to referees at halftime. No one's particularly happy, but at this point, Jamie, we should probably thank the War Chief Council for allowing this to happen tonight. It's been one of the really good collaborative efforts in town that started with the desire to bring lights to both campuses and have night games in all of our fall and spring sports between football, lacrosse, field hockey, soccer. It's been a wonderful community builder, but what was neat about it was that it was agreed we'll put lights, but with what we do on one side of town, we're going to do on the other. And it was this War Chief Booster Club that came together to do that, and I guess that's 4 or 5 years ago now. And since then, one of the things they've been doing is sponsoring the opportunity for alums and family members from around the globe, quite frankly, to be able to experience the Hall Conard games when they happen.
Paul and Dennis have been in great leadership positions and with this War Chief Council to put this together. But there's so many other things they do with the fundraising, with the donations that they have of different types of infrastructure improvements for the athletics here in West Hartford. We know budgets are tight, so they go out to the community and the community gets behind them, and they do great sponsorships like the television programming and other types of infrastructure improvements.
And it's been fun. I had a chance to do the unified sports here earlier in the year. It was unified soccer, and there was 20 schools from throughout the state. And the beautiful thing about unified is that many of the girls involved in this game on the Conard side, because it was hosted here, your daughter included, were mentors to the special needs kids who were involved in that program. And it's a version of Special Olympics and a subset of it, the unified sport model. And War Chief, I love the fact that not only were they broadcasting the traditional varsity games, but the fact that they brought the unified sports live to families as well.
No doubt.
Was really a special thing, and it speaks highly to the quality of this program.
Yeah, and it's incredible. They did I was lucky to be asked to help with the color commentary for the field hockey game. So you have boys sports, you have girls sports, you have the unified sports. It's all across the board because athletics are healthy for the kids of this community. But it's not just for the kids. I mean, the parents is a big part of this, that we get together and we know each other. You and I know each other. You're on the blue side, I'm on the red side.
Yeah.
And it's really it's a community builder, and that's what great communities are built on. Great schools. I see Jason Siegel walking by right now, our athletic director, and he wears the neutral colored purple shirt. And he hasn't been here many years, maybe 2 or 3. Is this his 3rd year, maybe?
I think this is the start of his 2nd year, yeah.
And you just see all the programs growing underneath his leadership. The basketball programs are excelling right now. They're in a great spot. The football programs had an incredible Mayor's Cup. It was absolutely incredible finish for Hall. So the programming in here in general, the kids are lucky in this community to have what we have for athletics and also academics.
Sure. So, Jamie, we know we have some friends that are listening in right now, unless they tuned us off for halftime, but we'll have to give some shout-outs. We see Big Phil over there.
Yes.
And Jamie and I have been running old man hoop game for about a decade now, and so Sunday morning hoops. So shout out to the guys that play with us, and that's again, bunch of parents from some of the kids who are playing in this game, and then folks we've gotten to know over the years. But again, it's one of the beautiful things about West Hartford is what a community it is. So let's talk a little bit more about this game so far. It's certainly been a game of runs. Looks like it was interesting. Felder came in and changed the whole tenor. Hall was on this magnificent run, got it up to 19-10. Next thing you knew, Felder had 8 or 9 points, and it seemed to spark the seniors to say, hey, if the freshman's going to carry us, we got to carry her as well.
Coach D'Angelo uses her as a secret weapon almost. He waited almost the entire quarter to put her in.
Sure.
And I think what you get with a freshman, sometimes you get some untimely turnovers and some decision-making issues because she has to get that experience. What you get here is some raw talent and raw speed and raw athleticism, and you get a shot in the arms. It's like Vinnie Johnson, the microwave out here. She pops in 9 points like that, and changes the look of this, and has Coach Huggins figuring out what she's going to do about this.
Yep.
So that's going to be an interesting how Coach D'Angelo uses her in the second half. Does she start right at the beginning, or she comes in at certain spots to get this team going?
Yeah, there's 2 adjustments Coach Huggins is going to need to think about defensively, and obviously having a daughter in the Hall program, I've had a chance to watch Coach Huggins over the past couple of years, and she's one of the best I've seen at halftime adjustments. So what I would imagine we'll see is some sort of game planning towards Felder and towards Connors, because it was Felder who got them back in it, but it was Connors that got them the lead, and they were running everything through her. And Deloria, I thought, did a nice job of fronting and making Haley work harder than she would like to. I'm just sorry, Delaney, not to be confused with her great sister. And so what I imagine we might see is some even more double teaming that's going to happen in terms of making Delaney have to work in that post. But if she does get it, you're going to get some collapsing. And then they, of course, have to be fearful that if Delaney is patient and draws all that attention, can she hit her friends for the kick-out threes? And
can they nail those threes? And that's big. They are definitely going to double down from the weak side.
Yeah.
The minute she turns around, there's going to be someone in her face. And can she find that person on the perimeter to knock down that shot or to drive for a foul? There's no doubt. And they're running this kind of one-post offense. It's almost like a post offense against this 23 zone. So that's interesting. On the Hall side in general, you already have 10 points. Actually, Amber Reisner had 10 points in the first quarter.
Yeah.
She had a nice rest, came back, scored another 2 points. How do we get her? How does Hall get her heated back up? So they have to make Conard think about how are they going to defend it.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, because I think what's happened in the evolution of Amber Reisner and her increasing her performance as Hall's success has gotten better is that Amber has gotten much better at letting the game come to her. What can happen in the Hall Conard game is this fear, like I don't want to lose to my friends, I don't want to lose to my crosstown rival. So Coach Huggins is going to need to talk to Amber about the fact, like, look, Boney's been the leading scorer on the team for much of this season. And while Olivia's in a little bit of a slump right now, it's not that substantial. And as we see, she can finish with both hands. We haven't seen her take a three-pointer yet.
Right.
So as Amber gets other players involved, that's going to allow Amber to get more looks.
No doubt.
Because otherwise what's going to happen is you're going to get them keying on her the whole time, and that becomes a problem for Hall in general.
Sure. I do see it. As far as ball handling is concerned, Amber has the control. And if Felder's going up against someone, you want the ball in Amber's hands. Zindana is a nice athlete, a nice guard, has some maturity to come on her ball handling skills against that kind of pressure. So it'll be interesting to see if they put Felder or a Jillian Haverty on Jenna, or do they put her on Amber? And that's a question of how they'll go there.
Yeah, and there's other weapons that we haven't even seen from Hall. I mean, Deloria has not gotten hot. I've seen her put in 3 or 4 threes in a row. Gellerman's been on fire. You know, she's gonna play at the next level last year.
And Mandyke was out early, and Mandyke, I mean, she finds the net.
Absolutely, and we
she's
saw
long, good rebounds, nice putback. She can hit that 10-foot jumper.
Yeah, tallest girl on the team is her hoop came from the foul line, and so I think the thing that we'll see with Hall is probably going to see more kids getting involved in terms of that opportunity.
Yeah, it'll be fun to watch as Hall takes the floor right now. Conard's warming up, and we're about 30 seconds away from the start of the second half. and we're in for another good one.
Yeah, taking a look
Getting
at some
stats on the fly.
Yeah, see, Razor with 12, Delorier with 4, Mandyke with 2, Zdanowicz with 4, and Boney with 2. Boney's been averaging well into double figures, so again, she'd be another key person to look at for this particular quarter to see whether or not she gets a little more involved.
Yeah. Isaiah Felder leading scorer on the Conard side with 9 points. Delaney Conard worked, scrapped, and clawed her way to 7 points, some from the foul line as well. All the rest of those that scored have 2 points.
Yeah.
So those are the 2 people. Question is, who steps up in the second half and who's going to take that leadership position and be able to bury some shots?
Yeah, and you called the coach. I mean, the freshman Felder she's been the difference maker in this game right now. Without those 9 points, this is a much different game. And she did it probably playing all of 5 or 6 minutes.
Yeah, she is definitely a microwave coming off the bench there. And it's that fine balance of a raw energy and incredible athleticism, and to make sure there's not too many turnovers that go with it. There's a block there.
Yeah, you see.
And Mandyke's very active right now, back in the beginning of the second half, which is great.
So we talked about it just before the half here started. Boney is one that you need to really look for right now to see how involved she gets. That was a determined drive, but it was within the flow of the offense.
I like watching Olivia Boney play. Growing up, someone smooth like that we'd call poetry in motion. And many times when she goes up, she is smooth going up there. And very nice movement up to the rack. And they're calling a little bit tighter now.
Yeah, and you know,
it's a no call first half.
It was a no call to start the game, and unfortunately for Proetti, Amber was on her way out of bounds, and it was that little reach in at the end. Probably was some contact on the arm, but again, you know, those are bang calls for referees. Both referees were talked to by the coaches at halftime. So sometimes you get what you ask for.
Softened up a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, and so I thought the referees called the game that allowed the kids to play in the first half. I'm always happy when there's only 7 fouls for both teams.
No doubt.
We barely reached the 1-on-1. Yeah, Boney's here to play, obviously.
No doubt. Mandyke too. Mandyke's there, trying to get the ball. She gets the ball on the out of bounds. Screws are tighter. We're going to have to watch for foul trouble if this continues. And both coaches are going to have to calibrate their teams to make sure that they're not getting too many fouls. The Halls fan section has stood up and they're rolling now.
Yeah, nice crowd from the Hall and Conard side here right now, sitting on both sides. And there's Felder immediately in the game. Gets a tip. She's an active kid, and she looks like she's just having fun out there.
Yeah.
Really just playing a game.
She started that second half. I think they want that spark plug ASAP, and so she's out there starting that second half.
Yeah, Boney's
She came in for Proetti. Excuse me.
We could see Boney asking for the ball right now in a way that we weren't seeing in the first half. That's a 3-point shot. Going to make it a 4-point play. Sometimes you can just see body language. There's something different in her. I don't know who talked to her at halftime, but somebody said, look, you've got to get yourself more involved. As soon as that ball was caught, she was eyes on the rim, did not worry about the defender. It's a good call by the referee. There was contact made there. It's a 4-point opportunity for her.
We talked about body language earlier on, and the body language from Boney this year to last year is night and day. I mean, there's a confident kid walking out on that court right now and doing the things like that, hustle play, right there to keep the ball active versus walking away with his shoulders down. And that's what you want. Your teammates feed off that positive body language, that communication, and diving for balls. Good for her and good for Hall. Let's see if Conard has an answer, and they can work this defense, tire him out a little bit here.
Interesting. We talked about one of the things we might see is a different matchup on Conard's, and already we've got the longest player on Hall's team, Mandyke, showing on her. And this is what Felder did in the first half. Is she tried to break Zdanowicz down off the dribble, but we know Zdanowicz to be an excellent defender and probably was talked to about that as well.
Yeah, Jenna's footwork is really incredible. And what you have here is Delaney having a longer player, so she pulls her out, has to build some respect by knocking that shot down. She hasn't hit a 3 yet today. And again, they call Jillian Haverty on the reach here, so things are tightening up a little bit second half.
As we talked about, Coach Huggins is a brilliant tactician, and she's very good at making adjustments, and we're seeing that manifest very early here in this half. It's a great steal by Haverty, great athlete. Again, lacrosse skills transferring so well to her basketball here.
Just tremendous athlete, tremendous defender, does the scrappy things, gets some fouls, but the coach wants her to get some fouls.
We got Conard down. You know, of course,
holding her knee right now. We're not sure exactly what happened there.
It looked like a bang knee to me. The way she grabbed it, she does have knee pads on. She just went down pretty hard, and I think she's, you know.
I'm hoping so.
Yeah.
Right now, this changes momentum sometimes when injuries like this happen. Hopefully, it's not serious, but both teams go back in and they get concerned about their teammate. They get concerned about their friend that's on the other side of the floor there, and we'll see what happens when it comes back out there.
You know, we both know Delaney's parents well. We know it's one of the hardest things as a parent is when somebody goes down with an injury and they're grabbing a knee, that you want to be really, really worried about kids that, you know, that it is just a bang knee, and that's perhaps my own sort of wishful thinking that happens. So just hopefully she'll get off on the sideline, that Amber will be able to put some weight on it and shake it out and get back in this game. This is a game that deserves to have Delaney Connors in it.
No question about it. No question about it. So, you know, it's hard for Mike. Mike loses his #1 player right there, and who's going to step up? He's got his heart, and his heart is in their hands, and yet he's got the rest of the team. The other kids looking at him, what are you going to do now? So it's funny because they bring in Delaney's cousin, Ella DePippo, in to take her place there, who's a very reliable point guard, makes very good decisions out there, but again, there's nobody on that floor that's a Delaney Connors right now.
Well, let's just knock on wood that Delaney's okay. She gets back in here, and we'll see. Sometimes what happens in these cases is, unfortunately, not what just happened. Is that sometimes kids step up. You know, they realize, all right, one of our star players is out. We got to pick up the slack for her. But unfortunately, it was just a bobbled ball and a quick foul by Haverty there. And Coach D'Angelo's come with a little bit of pressure right now. We haven't seen this on the full court effort, and it's kind of surprising given the fact that they've got 5 fouls to none. And
Jillian has 3 right now, and it just started the second half, but they did create that turnover.
Absolutely, yeah, it's a good.
They have to be very careful with Jillian right now with the 3 fouls. And so the refs bring the coaches together, probably just to bring it down just a notch and make sure these guys. Not sure exactly why bring them together.
Yeah, no, I mean it
just looked like good hard play.
I don't know if the coaches are not happy with some of the players looking up at the refs after no calls, and perhaps they're talking about that and just asking both coaches to talk to the players about it. You know, it is one of those things that, you know, we live in a culture where it seems to be more and more accepted. As you know, Jamie, because I know you do this, is refereeing is an awfully hard thing to do.
It sure is.
And some of my biggest regrets as a coach is how much I get into the game and how hard I've been on referees over the years. It's a terribly difficult job, and I don't know any of them that come to games and say, I want one team to win over the other. They're just trying to do the best they can. They're human. They get caught up in the experience sometimes. They have good games. They have bad games. But at the end of the day, what's fascinating is if my kids or somebody I'm not rooting for are not in the game, it's incredible how good the referees are. But we lose all our objectivity as parents or as coaches that we're constantly looking for calls. So I think these referees have done a nice job so far. But that said, I don't have complete objectivity because, you know, I coached at Hall and I got one of my kids in the game, as do you. So it's difficult.
Yes, yeah. I know the training I have to go through on the lacrosse field, and I can't even imagine reffing a basketball game. With the amount of turnovers and mistakes that are going on in a high school basketball game, it's very difficult, and to try to keep tempo, keep safety, and just keep it not equitable, but a fairly called game. It's hard. The one thing I don't like seeing is when players have their palms up, asking questions all the time, and questioning that, and the coaches can get that under control. Coaches can do that all day long. I mean, that's their right to do that. Have a discussion and a relationship with those refs together. Without the refs, we don't have a game.
I'm not really sure what Coach Huggins is asking for right there, but
so it looks like Zendanowicz called for the foul against Felder, but they called it a shooting foul, which is probably the question.
Yeah.
I thought it was down on the floor.
Yeah, and that puts Zadanowicz at her second foul with 5 minutes left in the third quarter. We're seeing Coach Connors walk across the court, who checked on his daughter. So we're hoping that's a good sign that he's left her, and that we'll see Delaney back in the game. We're all saying a prayer over here that it's something small.
And Conard here wants to see if they can get a spark off their defense right now, have their defense spark their offense, because without go-to right with Delaney, it'd be nice to get some nice buckets in transition. And good hustle by Zadanowicz. Ball's going up for Conard right now. And also maybe give some time to, if Delaney is able to come back in the game, give her some time to recover here, take care of the basketball, run the offense, wear the defense down.
Yeah, and in fairness, I saw the Conard girls look into Delaney a little too much, and what this does is it allows other kids to get in the flow, get in the rotation, so that when Delaney comes back in, they've got other weapons out there to do what it is they want to do. But you're not seeing Hall do that you saw happening an awful lot. Incredible play. Look to draw charges. There's been a lot of opportunities for Hall girls to step in and draw some charges there, and because they haven't, it's been missed opportunities.
Yep. Isaiah Felder showing what she makes her so special, going in there, very gritty rebound and a nice put back there, and it comes back with a defensive play, and Haverty for three. Rebound by Abby, and right now, Conard's outworking him.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And so the momentum changed when that injury went down. On the floor fouls. So right now, Hall only has 2 team fouls. Conard with 5, and we got a 2-point ball game here.
Yeah, and Hall does not have an answer for Felder. Like she was in the first half, Felder's making all the difference here in the second half. And again, she's playing with a lot of maturity. I'm not seeing her force things in a way that is awkward. She's like right there. She's thinking, all right, well, I have my opportunity. I'm not seeing her chuck up threes, really running the offense, catching her breath right now, taking advantage of the pace. Right on cue.
And there's an air ball. But what's new for Conard is Lena's back in the game. We have someone who's mature and experienced at the point guard position. Now Felder plays a different role. The shooting guard. So watch her decision making. Let's see if she can rise to the occasion. Still be aggressive towards the basket. Draw those fouls. Get the and ones versus settling for that 3-point shot.
Exactly. So we had off that air ball, Gellerman had a little bit of a push that the referees called her on. So he's balancing out a little bit in terms of the foul numbers. Coaches have been on the refs about the calls, so that you're calling her much tighter this half, and it's making a difference.
What I've noticed too is very few timeouts. Both coaches are just letting the kids play through the game, get their stride going, which is fun to see. I expect a little bit more timeouts coming up here as they tactically start putting the strategy together and figuring out what they're going to do.
Again, good coaches are going to leave them in the bank and withdraw them when they need them.
I'd like to see Mandyke get the ball, more touches for Mandyke. She can score at will. And they're focusing on their defense. You can see them collapsing down on Olivia Boney right now. So who's going to step up? Maybe Amber for an outside 3 or Mandyke slashing in.
Conard's now only 1 foul away from the bonus, and Hall's a pretty good foul shooting team for much of the season. A couple of them have been lazy. That's a great play right there. Like you said, get the ball to Mandyke, but because of the matchup size right there and her being so long, Conard committed to playing man-to-man there. It was easy to get her posted up.
It's Felder again. Nice defense. Things are going Hall's way right now. Wow, no call on that drive-by Amber Egan.
Things are getting a little bit out of control right now.
Now we got to calm it down a bit. Foul on number 5, I'm going to guess. I know the Pippo. That needed to be called earlier, though.
There were a number of things that didn't get called. Quite frankly, I thought it should have been a jump ball down the other end, the way Zadanowicz had made the contact with the ball. Felder came down. That started the chaos that just ensued right there. I think both coaches have reason to be upset about the way it was played there. As we talked about, refereeing is very difficult. We do want them to play on, but we want it to be safe. That felt a little chaotic right there.
It did. It sure is about 3 seconds with 3 people falling to the ground.
In some ways, just having Zadanowicz on the foul line right there was an opportunity to relax. You see Mandyke's length right there pay off. Gelman hasn't gotten a lot of shots
There we
off.
go.
That's a beautiful pass.
They're getting it. Watch their ball game. That's where they're going to put a dent in Conard. Right there in the paint. No one can D that up. No one can. Not on this team. I think D'Angelo needs a timeout right now. Down by 6. 2 bad turnovers down here. A couple of bad fouls. May want to bring his team together and calm things down a little bit.
Yeah. No need to rush right here if you're Hall.
And there goes Mandyke. So they're running really just a 2 post X play against that 23 there.
Really no need to force it there by Razor. I think she was trying to. Oh, that would certainly look like an offensive.
She had the chicken wing out there, but I love her focus to finish. Good for her.
Absolutely. You're seeing
They're really having a battle, those two, and it's great to watch them compete. What a
great
pass.
By Gelman. Really looking for her senior teammate, senior co-captain Gelman to Mandyke.
They've been playing forever.
Gelman's not feeling it herself on her shot, so she's looking quickly. I thought that was a pretty quick shot by.
Again, I think they're in need for a timeout right now. They're throwing shots up quickly. They're one and done. Now they're going to call it. 9-point game.
Right, D'Angelo's upset right now because he didn't get the timeout call, but I think the struggle right there was that he didn't call it very aggressively. It was almost an assumption timeout. He put his hands together, but to me, as a fellow coach, he looked like he was calling a set.
Yeah.
But you're right, he should have.
Upset at the ref or something.
Yeah, you know he was, and I think he was upset there because the timeout didn't get called immediately. But to your point though, probably should have had the timeout right after the turnovers.
You're down 6, now you're down 9, and this place is going crazy.
And you got Boney with more confidence again. Boney had missed a couple shots after that 4-point play opportunity, and she got a wide open look because of the non-timeout there, and was able to get the shot off. But
non-factor right now is Amber Razor, but you can't slough off her. Mandyke stepping up is now giving her more opportunities to be able to see good shots at the basket. So you have a three-way threat right now for Hall, and I don't see a single threat right now for Conard.
Yeah, I think you're right. And in all fairness to Gellerman, she's made as much difference as anybody out there. It's not going to show in the box score tomorrow morning, but she's just doing some really good little things right now to get other kids involved. And they're not making any mistakes. You know, they're playing within themselves. They're looking for their teammates. They're playing good, solid defense. And so I think, what Hall has to do right now is say, with 1 minute to go, if we get this lead over 10, we can be really patient. They're going to be in 1-1 the whole quarter. In the fourth quarter, it could turn into a foul shooting contest.
Well, with 17 fouls already for Conard, it's going to be tough. They're going to have to really scrap to get back in the game, but they're going to get themselves into the double bonus, and they're going to be in trouble.
I'm looking for Conard to get a good shot after that timeout right now. Doherty with a nice move right there. A little bit of a bailout, but I think right there, again, the way it's been called, you want to attack the rim right there. She pulled an Amber Razor move. It looked like she was supposed to come off the high screen. Instead, she took the kid baseline, and the next thing you know, the senior leader is on the foul line, stopping the clock, allowing them to get back in the game.
I'm sure Coach Mike said, we need to get to the basket. Stop with these one-and-done long threes unless we're in rhythm. No one on this team right now is a rhythm shooter for Conard.
We just got a text from Matt Dunbar, assistant superintendent at Glastonbury Schools. Nice shout out for the Sunday morning crew.
Yes.
Here's another one for you guys.
Yes.
We'll look forward to seeing many of you on Sunday morning hoops.
The McCann brothers are wondering if I'm going to offensive foul you here today.
Shout out to the McGanns from Coach Jamie. All right, so back here to action with 20 seconds to go, 39-31 in the third quarter. Good footwork right there. Mandyke, Razor at her sweet spot for a three, just rims it off. Smallest player on the court with the rebound. That's a good no call right there.
Yeah, it was a beautiful hustle play by Jenna.
I don't think Coletti sees the clock. Unfortunately, she didn't see it. The crowd helped her right there to get a shot off, but again, that was a 9-point win that quarter for Hall. As we talked about at halftime, the one thing that Coach Huggins is known for is making really solid adjustments. It's allowed her to come back against teams like Enfield this year, who are defending state champions.
Great win.
Yeah.
A great win. what I see right there at the end is a microcosm of really where Conard's at right now, and that's where Mike D'Angelo has to get his crew under control. There isn't a sense of urgency combined with composure. There's too much emotion. So we need some composure, but we need a sense of urgency to know that that clock is going down. That's what seniors need to do. And seniors need to push that ball and understand when to push and when not to push. They're the ones that have the experience. So hopefully he's talking to them, calm down, we got plenty of time. It's an 8-point game. This game is swinging by 10-point increments all the time. We're right into this. And what is Coach Higgins saying right now?
Yeah, Coach Huggins right now, I think, is starting to say, look, let's play like it's 0-0, or why don't we play like we're down 8? It's certainly one of those things that you want to be able to go into the quarter with this sense of let's not protect lead, let's build lead. Because I think what happens sometimes when you start talking about protecting, you start worrying about making mistakes as opposed to continuing to do the things that got you into it. So I always like at those quarters to talk to my teams about playing like the score is reversed.
It goes back to the fundamentals that they build in practice every day. Each player has to be confident with their fundamental skills on pivoting, triple threat, dribbling, head up, passing crisply. If they do that, you can hold the lead and then you can build on that. But if you don't have that, if you don't have that confidence on all 5 players, that's where the mistakes happen. There's one.
Yeah, and again, I think that's a freshman mistake right there, and I was really hoping that we'd see Connors come in out of that.
Here comes Julian off the bench right now. Haverty coming in for some senior leadership, and Proietti with a nice steal. Let's see if they can convert on here. Shooting 2 for Proietti. Good hustle play to go to the rack. Smart move. Got bailed out.
Well, these are competitive kids out here, and Proietti's been playing at this level for all 4 years, and having coming across one of the most successful travel teams in state history as well. And so, I think she's a kid. Senior game against Hall, she's certainly not going to stop fighting. Very
nice
impressive skill right there.
Yeah, sorry. Nice stroke at the line here for Proietti. Really hasn't taken any shots from the field, so this is a good warm-up for her. Break the seal. 2 nice shots here. Maybe she can get the ball and get a couple shots up before this game is over and make this nice and close.
Absolutely. I think she's the kind of kid that's going to have to help them get back in the game. We saw after that timeout, she's the one who got herself to the foul line, and she gets herself a steal and another couple foul shots right there. I really like this offense by Hall. They get a lot of backdoor cuts, a lot of back screens. They take advantage
down low.
Yeah, take advantage of switches. You can see right here too. Yeah, it's a bit of a force by Boney. Stay patient right there. Go inside out. Right. It's going to maintain Hall possession right now.
It was it's straight man-to-man by Conard. Conard's getting lost on the screens, which is going to create mismatches for Mandyke and for Boney.
It'll be interesting to see if the referee calls this a 2-shot foul, because she certainly was on her way up.
Yes, she did.
Yeah, it appeared to be a pass by the way the foul happened, but they've gotten them each time on that play. You would think the Conard kids would have figured it out.
You've learned this by now.
Yeah, when you play man-to-man against underneath inbounds plays, there's a lot of different things you can do, which is why a lot of coaches will go to the zone, especially at this level. But Mandyke's just standing there. They're lobbing over the top of the defense. She catches high. She releases high.
She's got great hands. Her and Boney's length right now is proving to be much bigger than what Conard has to for an answer.
There's Felder again, doing a lot of little things. She's all over the place out there.
And now she's heating up. Foul shots help her. Now with confidence, she strokes that shot. Felder gets the ball to her.
That's a brilliant save by Boney right there. I'm not really sure how that's not a foul.
Reaching foul by Abby Capone. She's going to the line for a 1-and-1 on this one.
So the Conard kids are getting excited in the stands because Proietti is sort of saying, look guys, I'm a senior leader. I'm going to get you on my back. And she's done 3 really good things for her team on the last 3 possessions. Interestingly enough, she's being subbed out by Pippo right now. I don't think that foul was on her. The only thing I can think is that she's exhausted and she asked for a breather.
Yeah, 6:27. It's a pivotal part of the game. You're 4 points down. And he knows his personnel. He knows his resources. She is the difference maker right now. I'd keep her in.
Yeah, so we'll see how it plays out. He knows he's going to need her at the end of the game. So
true.
I have to think something else was at work there. great call. Again, I think Van Dyke's length is hurting them, and even in situations right there, it forced the turnover. We're going to be in the double bonus the rest of the way for Conard. Go ahead.
She may be 6 foot tall, Van Dyke is, but she plays like a guard. But she's so nice and long with great hands inside, a nice touch around the basket. And should they find her the ball, they are going to be rewarded.
Hall's got to recognize that with no shot clock, they wouldn't have to take a shot the rest of this game and they could still win. They can really be patient and get whatever they want. I see Tony's asking for the ball again. As Van Dyke tight once again. And a lot of lazy fouls off of the rebounds right now. I'm wondering how many that's on Venora right there. Give it to Venora or Capone.
Venora get the foul or did Abby?
But it looks like they gave it to number 15.
Maggie Venora.
So that's her.
She's got 3 fouls. She's fine. The problem is Conard's in the double bonus right now. And what I'm seeing on the rebounds is that they're looking at the ball and they're not locating and boxing first, then getting ball. They're just going after the ball. So fundamentals, especially long shots, gotta box out those guards coming in and grabbing the ball.
Yeah, so for all the fouls that weren't called in the first half, we're now at 10 for Conard. So it's going to turn into a bit of a foul shooting contest the rest of the way.
Van Dyke swatting Haverty out of bounds there. Perfect spot on the left-hand side for a shot blocker to go in there. Nice long, and Conard ball still.
Yeah, it was a missed assignment by somebody on Hall, but senior leader Van Dyke, showing her length, came up and really did a good job and helped hurt that shot right there as well.
Lack of not having a true 5 on the Conard team's hurting right now because they certainly could post Van Dyke, maybe get a foul or 2 on her and get her worn down. But no one's posting, no one's being physical with her, so she's doing what she wants. She's free at the foul line right now.
Yeah, 5 being a center for those of you that are wondering that position. So again, it doesn't matter if it's a shooting foul or not. Every foul is a 2-shot foul. You know, and at this point, if Hall makes foul shots, we're going to win the game.
Yeah.
There's just no doubt
It's
about
going to slow
it.
this game down. They're going to be stop clocks all the time. We're going to go here, we're going to slow it down, and they get their rest and they just finish at the line.
I don't think you're going to see Conard be too upset about stop clock, but the problem is when you stop the clock now, you're putting 3 points on the board. Typically, you want to stop it in those occasions.
If you're
when it's
behind.
yeah,
Sure,
exactly.
sure.
But you know, being this far ahead, you're not going to get back in putting them on the foul line the rest of the game. That's for sure.
Just haven't seen any offensive cohesiveness this half at all for Conard. Let's see if they can get a rhythm and get some sets, some movement, work that defense a little bit, and get some options versus turnovers and bad passes.
Yeah, so Reisner makes 1 of 2 there, so gives an opportunity for Conard to creep back in. Yeah, with no shot clock, these teams are used to running offense with no urgency. Troetti's looking for her shot, as you can see, but it looks like they've keyed in on her a little bit more.
And they're extending their man out. Hustle play by both Felder and Zindanowicz. Haven't seen a direction. I think it's going to be Conard ball.
Referee has not made a decision yet. It appears to be Conard ball. I thought there was going to be a push out of bounds.
Those two are athletes. They go flying into the stands. No care about their bodies. I know their parents are cringing right now.
Absolutely. These kids are competing out here and they're representing both their teams very well.
So I do think that's where Amber can provide some value there, is to, because she's a senior, because she's played so much ball, AAU and in high school ball, I think that she's maybe a better defender technically on Felder right now. Athletic-wise, defensive skills-wise, Jenna's there, but she may be a little over-physical.
Yeah, well, I think the way that Felder's taken over the hoop is really almost taking advantage of Zdanowicz's aggression. So I think that the play for the Hall girls is really to help off with Van Dyke's length.
Exactly right. Have her make a 10 or 12 footer. Stop with these things going to the rack.
Yeah.
But good for Felder, keeping her team back in it. Where they're winning 7 right now.
So Delorier got the outlet there, and you could tell that she was looking for either some nice backdoor play right there.
Good fundamentals.
And that's a called play by the Hall girls because they recognize the overplay.
So Amber thought she had a clean block there, ends up fouling Troietti on the layup. Again, I feel this momentum swing here. If Proetti hits this, we're good. If she does not, they come back and score. It's going to have to be a timeout.
Yeah, I think you're right. And right there, again, I think that what's happening with some of these defenders, they got to recognize referees are going to call anything that's mildly aggressive. Amber had pretty good position right there and just didn't give her the opportunity to release the shot high. And while she might have gotten a lot of ball, the fact that she did that follow through, it makes it easy for the referee to call that foul shot.
Siobhan Boyle in the game, giving Boney a rest. Olivia Delorier in the game as well.
So Boyle gets in and gets a rebound and fouled on the rebound. So she's been sitting on the bench for much of that, for the entire half pretty much so far. So she's going to have to step up to the foul line a little cold and make her parents nervous while she does it.
Well, when it comes to being competitors, I put her right at the top. And she'll be just fine right here. Bingo.
So
she pours this in. I'd look for a timeout right now. You got 4:21 left in the game, and she pours this in. It's a 10-point game. They need to regroup. They need to get some offensive fluidity.
So the two foul shots puts Hall up 10. I think coaches will often want to use the timeouts after made baskets to stop clock. But now we see the freshman fellow doing something we hadn't seen her do. That was probably not an advised shot at that point.
Right.
Senior Reisner recognizing we got lead, time, score, situation. Boyle finds Reisner on the backdoor cut. We're back on the foul line, shooting free ones.
So a quick foul by Jillian Haverty. That's her fourth foul. Or excuse me, she is fouled out. That's her fifth foul. So now you lose one of your best defensive guards that are out there. Delaney Connor's already out with a knee injury. So you have two seniors going down. And let's see, I think she's going to put in Ella DePippo in there for some guard play and some ball handling capabilities, but they have to get into a better rhythm to get back and claw back into this game.
Yeah, you hate to see it at this point where, and one of their others, now you got Delaney Connors out with the injury, you got senior Haverty. Coach D'Angelo is upset because of the, he feels like it's a little bit one-sided, but I think it's been forced by a lot of the things that Hall's been doing, quite frankly. And he might regret having Haverty still out there with the 4 fouls, or at least not making her aware that one more and you're out, because that was not a senior foul, quite frankly. It probably shouldn't have happened, and you might want to give up the layup and keep that kid in the game as much as possible.
No doubt. Amber hits both at the line. It's now a 12-point lead, and let's see what kind of set we go into and what kind of D that Hall is playing. It's a nice little jumper.
She's going to do what she can to get him back in. I think
she'll scrap her way and will her way back into this.
Delorier probably with an ill-advised 3 right there. If it goes in, fine, but it's one of those things where time score situation, let's just keep running clock. You got the 10-point lead. The more Hall possesses and keeps the Connor girls in foul trouble, the better off they're going to be. Hall's doing a nice job of making them run offense right now.
Wow, that was a call right with the body.
Yeah, that's again, I think it's Coach D'Angelo, really told them about the imbalance in the foul. So that certainly was not a foul earlier in the game. But it is at this point, and both teams got to realize it.
It does hurt. So they're in the 1-on-1, 18 fouls for Hall right here. Conard feeling a little bit better right now in the last minute or so. The ball movement's been better. And Mohart steps up and knocks down the free throw. That's a good confidence builder for her. Again, she is an outside threat. She really is a shooter. She's put into the 4 and 5 positions of the power forward, has to do some rebounding, but she can shoot.
It's a nice job, and a good job by Mohart, because again, like you said, if Connor's going to get back in, they're going to need to shoot themselves back in, and it can't be trading 2s and it can't be trading fouls. Kids like Mohart, Renora, Proetti, they're going to have to hit some 3s. I think Felder's game has to continue to be to get herself to the hoop, draw some attention, and then find those kids on the kick out, because obviously Hall's going to be looking to key on her right now.
About it. Yeah, the draw and dump is huge here right now. They got the score in properly up there right now, but the draw and dump is huge now. Plus, Felder could get herself to the line too. You get some little ticky-tack fouls, get herself to the line. She's 42-50, 8-point game right now.
Yeah, so, you know, with an 8-point game, it's a good time out by Coach D'Angelo there. You might want to save him to stop clock, but I think he's in do-or-die situation right now. He's got to send a message to them that we can't trade baskets the rest of the way.
Right.
He's put the press on right now. See what happens in this. So we've got Gellerman back in for Boyle at this point. So this is Conard's Hall starting 5 with Conard out there with 2 of their senior starters on the bench.
Well, yeah, with 3 subs out there right now. And so I see them working the ball. Sure-handed folks out there for Hall. Conard's going to have to extend. And they're in a straight 55 defense here. They have to get out there. And
So it's one advantage of having Mandike is she can draw Capone out right now. You know, Hall's just got to stay true to this and not rush. Stay patient. Very good patience. Unbelievable move by Racer right there.
I was just going to ask you, Steve, at what time in the clock, if you're down by 10, when does Conard have to stop fouling? What time on the clock do they have to foul to stop the clock to get back in this game?
Yeah, you know, with that hoop, quite frankly, depending on what happens here,
maybe not.
Yeah, you're going to need to stop up. What Hall did there was brilliant, though. After the timeout, is they ran almost 40 seconds a clock, and then they got themselves a layup. So even with the miss, the 40 seconds was as valuable as the 2 points, and they're doing it again right now.
Yeah.
A little bit of a force right there. Because I would have said right there, I probably would stop clock sooner than later. Yeah, so Felder's exhausted right now. She's having to play way more minutes.
Open in the corner. She's got to get, but that's what the give and take with the freshman experience. She dumps down to Mohart, could have a 3-point shot down there if possible. But hey, all of this is learning, right? Every single game is a learning environment for all of them. She's played an incredible game, Felder has, with 17 points, only 2 fouls, difference maker on defense. So she's carrying them into there, but she's going to have to also use her teammates too.
No, exactly. You know what's it gives me goosebumps thinking is that, you know, West Hartford girls basketball is in good shape right now. You know, we're 19-5 between these 2 teams.
That's incredible, yeah.
You know, and you know, we've got, even though the kids that we've coached over the years, Jane Dunbar, who could be in one of these programs, and the other girls from that program that aren't even still playing. The fact that both of these teams grew up as one team, now they're separate, but they both have a chance to compete for the state title.
No doubt about it. And the Magic program that's headed up by town coordinator and program coordinator Ed Connors, who's been doing it for 12 years now, it's never been stronger. The team that he's coaching right now, they're in 8th grade. They actually suffered their first loss in 4 years.
It's amazing. Yeah, and you think about some of the teams that we've had over the years, that, you know, the girls who are seniors here, Delaney and Lena and Lexi and Amber, they all grew up having an incredible record. The group that I inherited with Maura Hanyatsky and Shannon Griffith, that whole crew was incredible.
Yeah, it's a nice legacy. That program's never been stronger, and the league we play in has never been stronger either. And we're seeing that on the court on both teams being strong. Back in the days, it's one or the other, primarily Hall, but now both programs have come a long way. Also to mention the 2 newer coaches that are here have done a fantastic job with the program, putting life and fun and vigor into it that people want to play for the program. With a nice sense of toughness too.
Pretty surprised that Conard's allowed them to run off this much time without stopping the clock. Because if you're going to stop the clock, you might as well do it at the 1:55 mark as opposed
30 seconds ago.
As opposed to the 1:13. You know, but Coach D'Angelo coming over from Trinity, Coach Huggins, who I had a chance to coach against back when her team went for the state championship, and she's worked at our camp and our programs over the years. She's a reading specialist in Hartford. Just an absolutely wonderful role model and educator. Coach Stitch, who's her assistant, who played at the University of Hartford. Allie Campagna and Becca Lewis, former players of mine, on her staff as well. So as you said, basketball on the girls' side is in particularly good shape in town right now.
Yeah, win or lose, it doesn't matter who wins this game. I mean, it does matter to them and the CCC and to their programs. But in general, they're going to be another rematch. I think February 18th will be at Hall there, and it'll be another battle to the end. Yeah, looks like right now Hall's taking control, 12-point lead, 1 minute left to go in the game.
I think you'll have a full, healthy Conard looking for some vengeance at that point.
and they're starting to foul now.
Well, actually, I'm not really sure what the referee saw there, but he called some sort of carry or double dribble while Coach Huggins is not upset because she was actually calling a timeout right there. But at 54-42, 41 seconds to go.
Let the clock go.
I think she's going to be just fine.
Yeah.
Well, Jamie, this has been an absolute pleasure working with you on this as Father coach, Conard basketball right there.
20 points for her in the game here, and outstanding effort. I mean, the kid is just goes. She just goes, and it's a bright spot for Conard. It's a bright spot for their future. Where our hearts and prayers right now are thinking about Delaney Conard, making sure she's going to be okay. And they really missed her in the second half. They really missed her in her leadership and her ability to grind out points.
Yeah, I agree, and I think, as a competitor, the Hall girls wish she was playing as well.
No doubt.
Because there's always going to be that piece. Well, if we had Delaney, I think it's one of those things where these kids like each other and they like to compete against each other so much. And you hate to see a kid get hurt and not get a chance. She's a senior. This is a big deal for her, and I love watching her play. So it would have been fun to have her out there. But we'll knock on wood, say a prayer that she'll be back for her next game, and it's just a small injury.
Yeah, this is an absolute treat. Thanks, Steve, for having me to work with you on this. And anytime Hall Conard gets together, I don't care the sport, I'm coming.
It's always fun. And look, I've had the chance to coach against Conard over the years in track and field, soccer, basketball, and lacrosse. And it was just always so fun just to sort of see the different energy the kids have coming into the game, and also just unpredictable outcomes.
No doubt.
Literally teams that could be 18-2 going against 2-18, and it goes down to the last shot of the game. Yeah.
I've watched some of the games in which you were coaching that your Hall team was superior by far, and boom, at halftime it's a tie score. Like, what is going on here? But that's the uniqueness of this crosstown rivalry.
Absolutely. So Zdanowicz with 2 more foul shots, 9-point game, 28.2. People that have watched basketball know that there's not going to be a lot that could be done. I think that part of what Coach Huggins there is asking for is to really be conscious of the intentional fouls. Pro Eddie's a competitor. I didn't see any extra there. It was really just I want to stop the clock, and I know I need to make the foul there. It was a fine play by me. Felder coming off what I have to imagine is a career high, Jamie. 20 points. She's certainly, as a freshman, really impressed with her and her poise. Just played with great effort, a lot of maturity.
And I've had a chance to meet with Isaiah a couple of times, and you get to know her a little bit more as a person. And the 20 points is not going to mean anything to her. She's going to win.
Well, I'm going to ask you to listen to what I'm about to say. You will be a better basketball player if you play lacrosse.
Oh, no question about that.
And she's a kid that I'm sure is probably on the AAU circuit, but any coach will be thrilled to have you on the AAU circuit. You can find some time to pick up a lacrosse stick, because I'm telling you, you'll be all state in that sport before you know it.
Well, I saw her today in the hallways at Conard. I saw her at my house a couple of days ago, and everywhere I go, it's lacrosse, because just the crossover from both sports is awesome, the transferable skills. And congratulations to the Hall Warriors. A hard-fought away game for them to win by 12 in this environment. A credit to them and their intensity, and most importantly, their focus to stay with their game plan. Nice job, Hall.
The one thing about this Hall team is they do think an awful lot about goals, but they understand there's process to reach goals. Like, you don't think about winning as much as you think about process that's going to lead to winning. Coach Huggins has been talking all year. We want to win CCC West, we want to win the CCC tournament, and we want to win the state tournament. That happens one game at a time. So you see the celebration here. It's a little bit of we're now on top of the CCC as well.
No doubt about it.
Yeah.
So now they have identical records of 10-3. They're winning the matchup head-to-head. I certainly know that Conard will rebound, and they will reconvene for a very competitive second game in February. And I can't wait to see that game. And congratulations to Hall. A nice, toughly fought game by Conard. Very nice, and we just hope that their injury with Delaney Conard is going to be okay. And congratulations to the Hall Warriors.
Yeah, and congratulations to the Conard girls fighting down to the end there as well. It'll be really fun to see them at that next contest. So I think at this point we're going to sign off and say congratulations to both teams. Thank you again to the War Chief Council. I'm sorry we didn't have the list of sponsors out there. We do know Ed Conard's Insurance Agency is one of them, and the many great
and the
organizations
2-for-1 Sports,
in town.
Sports Academy.
Well, thank you for that, Jamie. And so signing off, this is Steve Boyle and Jamie Tchaikovsky. Thanks very much.
Thanks, man.